Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Actor Workout. I'm joined today by Mandy Yu. Hi, Mandy.
Hello.
Yeah, Mandy has decided to take the challenge of the 3-take actor workout. She has not seen the script. Have you seen the script?
No.
No, sight
Nope.
unseen. So our first step is the cold reading challenge. So in a minute, I'm going to email the script to Mandy and she's going to read it to us sight unseen. But before we do that, Mandy, please tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from and your experience with acting and whatnot.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm from Taiwan, actually. I've been involved in theaters from high school and a little bit in college, but I've never been trained professionally. So this is like a good experience for me to like maybe explore a little bit and like learn a lot more about what like it takes to act, I guess. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, well, we hope we can do that. So let me just send that email to you. There it goes. Okay, when you get it, just open it up and start reading.
Okay. Should I mute myself?
No, you're gonna read to the camera. Yeah.
Oh, right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna copy it quick because my Gmail is a little.
That's fine. Yeah. I guess I could say that today's monologue comes from the Jodie Foster film, The Accused.
I've actually never seen that film before.
Okay, that's good. So this is what a cold reading is all about. Whenever you're ready, please begin.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking because I saw a couple videos. So do I get time to prepare like right now?
Not this time, no. This is the cold reading. You'll get time after this one.
Okay.
Just jump in. Have fun with it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that is nothing. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias, and I don't believe it is nothing to you. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now you watch Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially sensitive, especially observant? Did he seem so remarkable that you immediately said to yourselves, of course, this man would notice things that other people wouldn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something that those three men didn't see? And all that time that Sarah Tobias was being held down on that pinball machine, the others didn't know? Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you that everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may be, it is not the crime of criminal solicitation to walk away from a rape. It is not the crime of criminal solicitation to silently watch a rape. But it is the crime of criminal solicitation to induce or entreat or encourage or persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down, stick it to her, make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted others on, made sure that Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. Now tell me, is that nothing?
Okay, for a cold read, that was pretty good. Pretty good, because the trick with this one is they throw a lot of really tough sentence structure in there, right? And you didn't get flustered, right? When you tripped over the lines, you just kept going. So kudos for that.
Finally, I was.
So let's just first review the whole monologue. Is there anything that you don't understand in there that you need to discuss first of all?
Because I haven't seen this movie. I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who the speaker is, but it seems like it's a lawyer, like a pretty.
That's right. Yeah, she's a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens is Jodie Foster's character, she's in a bar, she's having a good time. She goes into the back room where a bunch of guys are playing pinball and stuff like that, and they gang rape her.
Oh.
Okay, on top of the pinball machine.
Mm-hmm.
Your character, I forget the actor's name, Kelly McGillis, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Jodie Foster won an Academy Award for her performance in this. It was a really, really courageous performance. So while this was going on, there were three men that they didn't actually touch Jodie Foster, but they were pushing the guys on to do it, egging them on, spurring them on.
Okay.
And so the lawyer, when she doesn't get the justification that she wants for the actual rapist, she goes after these guys for criminal solicitation. Okay, I remember watching this movie, and the actor that was criminally soliciting the rape, I'll tell you, I could never watch that actor in anything else and take him, like, no matter how honorable a character he might play in the future. Oh man, he was just so disgusting. I don't trust that guy whatsoever. He was really, really creepy dude.
Yeah.
And so she goes after these three guys that were spurring on the rape, even though they actually never touched Jodie Foster, for the crime of criminal solicitation. So she talks about another guy who was an eyewitness there.
Okay.
Right? She says, is he especially, observant? Right? So there's a little level of sarcasm when you talk about him. The person that you're referring to in it, Mr. Paulson, who do you think he is?
The rapist.
No, he's the other lawyer. He's the lawyer for the defense.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kenneth, I think is the guy's name.
Yes.
He is the witness. Okay. And so, yeah, you'll have a chance before you do your second take to ask any other questions. You're going to take it away for a few minutes now and rehearse it a bit. Now I'm going to give you a few hints.
Okay.
Well, first of all, technically, is it possible to put the script on your computer so you're not on your phone? I'd like to see you be able to make eye contact.
Okay, let me try. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Do that on your break. Play that on your break, but that's one note that I have. Okay. To slow down.
Yeah.
Take twice as long to deliver the monologue next time. There's a little nervous energy, no problem. Slow down. Don't let the words trap you into stumbling this second time, okay? Because if it's great that you pushed forward through the stumbles, and on stage, that's what you would have to do. But on a film set, they're just going to say, cut, do it again.
Okay.
All right. So make sure you get those difficult passages into the muscle memory in your rehearsals so you don't trip on them when you're doing your take.
Okay.
Okay. Slow down. The power. This woman has to be powerful. She has to convince a jury that three men who did nothing but speak, she has to convince them that they're guilty of criminal solicitation and put them in jail for doing nothing but using their words. And when you'll probably go and watch this movie afterwards, and you'll see they are definitely criminally liable here. But I mean, it's kind of a landmark case where she's getting people who didn't actually do any physical contact with the victim, and she's getting them charged, right? So it's a real uphill battle, but so there has to be power and confidence, and that will come from slowing yourself down and stillness. Okay, you might not have the law on your side, but you have morality on your side. You're going to be able to convince the jury to do something, to set precedents, right? And that has to come from how sure you are, right?
Yeah.
Watch for that little moment of sarcasm in there and really let that play through as well.
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
Because what you gave me was like an entire paragraph. Like, I'm thinking, is it a good idea to like kind of break it down a little bit, like to every?
You should absolutely break it down. That's actually what we would do after your second take. Good.
Oh,
Yeah, right. Like I would put it on a Word document and
mhm.
use your space bar and enter and break it into chunks. Absolutely. Anytime you
Okay.
get a script, you have to make it your own. You can use the comment section to make yourself some notes.
Okay.
Use highlighting. Like pink means sarcasm, red means angry. Do whatever kind of color coding you want. Make it
Okay.
your own. Okay, so let's see. We got 8:16 right now. I'm gonna
Mhm.
pause the recording, and you can take as much time as you want, up until 8:30.
Okay, that works.
Okay, but when you're ready, just I want you to mute yourself while you're working on it. Here, I'll just pause the recording. People don't need to hear this stuff. And we are back. So Mandy's had just 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes,
Oh, really? Yeah.
preparing her second take. Any questions before we go?
I am a little confused at the first sentences.
Okay.
As if she's like saying all of these are nothing. Like I don't really know what the tone is towards it.
What do you think it is?
I'm thinking that she's it's like when you try and make an argument, but you don't want it to be confused by like the other things people might be talking about. Like, oh, this is my argument. But these other things that they're trying to push towards it is like distractions towards what the main thing is.
Well, I mean, she is revisiting what Mr. Paulson told the jury, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that it was nothing. Okay, like the character that Jodie Foster plays is a party girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's from the other side of the track. She was a little drunk. She was dancing and flirting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But of course, there's no excuse for what
Yes.
happened to her. Right. And
Mhm.
so that's what Mr. Paulson, the lawyer, is trying to victim blame by saying that what happened was nothing. It's,
Mm-hmm.
and so and by repeating it, that is nothing, that is nothing, that is nothing, and then you come back to that at the end. Is that nothing? So you're setting up your argument. Like any good piece of writing, you have your introduction, your body, and your conclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is your introduction. You're setting up all these things, and he says they're nothing. It wasn't just these things. It's this and this and this and this and this. And then, is it nothing? Is that nothing? She asked the jury this rhetorical question. She's using rhetoric, which is a great tool of the lawyer or any debater, is to be able to turn things into a rhetorical question. So you have no choice but to answer the way you want. I have no choice to answer it the way you want me to answer your question.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
That's what rhetoric is. So, yeah, by bringing back Paulson's words to haunt him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So all of this, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias. And I don't believe it is nothing to you.
Okay.
Right? You see?
Yep.
You got it?
Yep.
Good question. Anything else you want to ask?
No, not really. Just need to
Okay,
remember.
so now just take your time, get into the headspace. Picture the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
Have the jury somewhere. The jury is the camera.
Okay.
Okay, so you move your eyes to different sides of the camera. Your power will come from your stillness. At one point in the last reading, you faded back on the camera, and that diminishes your power, right? Be still. Okay, and breathe into it, and whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that is nothing. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias, and I don't believe it is nothing to you. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now you watch Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially sensitive, especially observant? Did he seem so remarkable that you immediately said to yourself, of course, this man would notice things other people wouldn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something those three men didn't see? And all that time that Sarah Tobias was being held down in that pinball machine, the others didn't know. Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you that everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may be, it is not the crime of criminal solicitation to walk away from a rape. It is not the crime of criminal solicitation to silently watch a rape, but it is the crime of criminal solicitation to induce or entreat or encourage or persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down, stick it to her, make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted for the others on, made sure that Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. Now tell me, is that nothing?
Good, good. Compared to the first one, how does that feel?
It ran a little smoother, but also there's things I think I did in the first one that I liked better the first time I did it rather than the second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you're going to get a third take of this, but let's talk about it. First of all, we got to get those words, the crime of criminal solicitation, into your muscle memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so say it 10 times right now.
Okay.
The crime of criminal solicitation. Jayo.
Crime of criminal solicitation. Crime of criminal solicitation.
Can I just stop you? Say
yes.
The crime of.
The crime of criminal solicitation. 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 The crime of criminal solicitation.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a red flag for you as an actor. If you, in your first couple of readings, whenever you get anything that you have to act, always read it out loud. Never try and memorize it with just your head, okay? The muscle memory is a lifetime memory. Rote memory is short-term memory. Okay, so especially for a play where you have to run that play for 3 weeks, or if we make it to Broadway, it could be a year, right? It has to be in the muscle memory, not in the rote short-term memory. You actually know this because you're Taiwanese, but your English is perfect, right? So you had to, at some point, stop studying and start experiencing. This is experiential learning, right? Okay. Let's talk about the section where you are actually quoting what was said by these men. I think you have 3 lines.
Yeah, hold her down, stick it to her, make her moan.
Yeah. Take your time with those. Put those words in the voice of the men. Let the jury hear the men saying that. Okay. That's a big one there. That's I want to just quickly come back to the script myself. Yeah, hold her down, stick it to her, make her moan. That's the denouement of the speech. That's where you reach your peak in anger, but controlled anger. You know, you don't want to just let it slide by. If these are the words they said. Okay, you want the jury to, in their hearts and souls, look these guys in the eye and hear them saying these words. Okay, there's other things they were saying too. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, pump that pussy till it's sore. Really a disgusting scene. One of the most memorable scenes of any movie I've ever seen. It was yeah. The things are powerful in 3. The power of 3. Look for things that you can bunch together in groups of 3 and build those 3. Okay, so Mr. Paulson told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. That's 1. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. That is 2. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. And then you have the 4th one. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that is nothing. Okay, so each one has to build till you reach your 4th one, right? Okay. But what I like to do with actors is when you have a list of things, this is a list, nothing, 3, 4 things that are nothing. Build to your 3rd one, and then deliver your 4th one. You crescendo to your 3rd item on the list, and then bring it right down and make the 4th one the most powerful. But you don't have to do that with voice or anger or emotion, just with the words, just with the timing of it. Okay. And then you take your pause. I would, if you're working on a Word document here, hit enter a couple of times, and then, well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson. Okay. And so that line stands out. And then pause again. Next, now you're into the part 2 of your speech, the Kenneth Joyce section. Right. And that will go all the way to Kenneth Joyce confessed to you. Right. So Kenneth was a good man who saw this thing, who ran away, who called the cops, but didn't leave his name. Right. He's a young boy who an 18, 19-year-old boy who was in the bar, saw what was happening, ran out, phoned the cops, made anonymous tip. Right. And that's how the police got involved in this whole thing, because of him. And the lawyer eventually goes back and sees the high score and finds his initials and figures out who he was, and then confronts him and forces him to confess and be a witness in this court. And he's broken up that he didn't do anything about it. He's a good man who watched terrible men do something and did nothing about it. So he's torn up inside. So it is a confession to him. He's embarrassed and ashamed. So when his Kenneth Joyce confessed to you, it was a true confession. He didn't do anything wrong, except not doing anything. That was the thing he did wrong, right? So you that's your 2nd section, the whole Kenneth Joyce section. Right?
Yes, I split that into 2. Just
okay, and then you have but no matter, and then you get into your mouth problems here, where we get into the whole crime of criminal solicitation. Take your time. Let that alliteration work for you.
Okay.
Right? And again, you have 3 of them. There's your power of 3.
Yes.
Right? And so 1, 2, 3. And then
I have the 3rd one in bold.
Yeah, good. And then you have the 3 quotes. Hold her down. I'm not going to read it for you. I don't want you to have my voice in your head when you're doing it. You have to make it your own. Yeah. But those 3, hold her down, stick it to her, and make her moan. That's the most powerful 3, 7, 10 words you have in the whole thing.
Okay.
That's when you look the jury in the eye. Okay. And then you close it off with the last bit. So you have 4 good sections in there. Okay. All right. I'm looking at the script, not you. Okay. So any questions before we pause and you take your 2nd rehearsal break?
No, I think you gave me some pretty good advice. So.
Yeah. So we'll give you another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure. I'll tell you what. I'm going to treat you like you're on a film set next time. If you mouth mumble on crime of criminal solicitation, I'm going to say cut, and you have to go back to the beginning and do another take.
Oh dear. Okay.
Well, that's how it would be in a professional arrangement. Like this is good for you. If you're going to pursue this as a paying hobby or as a career, you got to directors are not going to be as nice as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll pause and give you some time to practice. Good job on that 2nd one. You're on your way. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And we're back. So Mandy, you ready for your 3rd and final take?
Presumably.
Presumably, you're gonna nail it.
Okay.
You put a lot of work into this, and yeah, in a typical audition, this is the kind of time you would get if they're interested in you. Oftentimes in auditions too, though, you go in for one part and they go, "Oh, we have this other part," and this is why an experience like this is valuable. You don't have a lot of time to prepare. Usually you get the side days in advance, you can memorize it, work on it, get all your costumes right, and then they ask you to read something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to be prepared, ready to go any which way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to switch back to speaker view and power. Yeah, power.
Yes.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that is nothing. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias, and I don't believe it is nothing to you. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now, you watched Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially sensitive, especially observant? Did he seem so remarkable that you immediately said to yourself, of course, this man would notice things other people wouldn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something those three men didn't see? In all that time Sarah Tobias was being held down on that pinball machine, the others didn't know. Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you that everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may be, it is not the crime of criminal solicitation to walk away from a rape. It is not the crime of criminal solicitation to silently watch a rape. But it is the crime of criminal solicitation to induce or entreat or encourage or persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down, stick it to her, make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted the others on. They made sure that Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. Now tell me, is that nothing?
Yeah.
I got through it without.
Yeah. Nice. You not just got through it, you did a great job.
Thank you.
The way you brought it home at the end was really, really nice.
Thank you.
The only thing, like if we did a 4-take, which we're not going to do, I think raped and raped and raped, you delivered all three of those the same way, and you could play with those three, raped and raped and raped. Yeah. You know, each one a little bit more aggressive or whatever, you know, whatever choice you would make. But good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. You made the hair on the back of my neck stand up at the end there. I had a professor in university who said the only way you're going to get an A from me is if you make the hair on the back of my neck stand up. So remember when you get aside to go over it and find all those speed bumps that you're going to have trouble. So do you wear braces?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to move the mouth.
Okay.
Okay. So, I even do this before your fig and your stage fight stuff in your warm up. Do a vocal warm up the way a singer would do a vocal warm up. This is your tool, right? And it has to be loose, and you are speaking in a second language, right? Yeah. So it's especially difficult for you, even though your grammar is perfect, your pronunciation is flawless. It's still a second language, so you have to work extra hard, right? If I was doing it in French, or I could tell you a story when we stop about the Taiwanese I had to do. I'll tell you after we stop recording. But yeah, fantastic, great work, Mandy Yu.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me, what was this experience like for you?
I think just really new, because this is the first time I've ever attended any sort of acting class or course. So it's it's kind of interesting to see how like maybe I would make this particular choice, but like say you would say, oh, this maybe this other way of going would be better, and I would see, oh yeah, like we can like make a mixture of the two and just have different opinions and stuff. And definitely gotta work on enunciation.
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 Enunciation, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, for somebody working in a second language, it was, I would think you're an American. You gave no indication of our North American, not necessarily American, but North American. You gave no indication of a Taiwanese accent whatsoever. Right. So
kind of funny. Sometimes like when I talk to people like in conversation, my accent actually switches, but not to like Taiwanese, but like sometimes like British or Australian, just like random words having just a complete mixture.
Okay, why is that? Did you have a mixture of teachers from other countries as you were growing up?
Yeah, because I was in an international school, so all of my classmates were from different backgrounds, and especially now in college, most of my classmates are from like South America. So I also picked up a bit of slang and like their like yeah, just like the way they speak is also kind of ingrained in my brain now.
So you're a college student right now?
Yes, I'm a freshman.
Oh, okay. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19, okay. Yeah. You carry yourself much older than that. I would never have guessed that you were 19. Like when I saw you around the 24-hour thing. Yeah, I thought you were very organized and you know, very mature for your years. Good job. You fooled me. What are you studying?
I'm doing international business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do when you graduate?
Probably a master's program, but I'm not sure in what field of study yet.
You're a freshman. You have lots of time.
I have 3 years.
Yeah. Well, if you want a life of fulfillment and poverty, drama is the way to go.
That's what I've been told.
Fulfilled. You feel great about what you're doing, but there's no money in it. No. Yeah. Okay. Don't hang up. I'm just gonna end the video here. Okay. So I want to be back on the screen. I can't be in that little. Yeah. So that was Mandy Yu, everybody, doing the lawyer speech from the end of the movie The Accused. She's never seen the movie, but I think you can tell she really grew in the 3 takes. And I want to thank Mandy for having the courage to take the actor workout.
Thank you for
hosting. You're welcome. And so if you want to take the challenge and you want to build on your craft as an actor, you can just get in touch with me at the links below up there, subscribe, do all that stuff. My name is Stuart Glenn. I'm the artistic producer for the Post-Pandemic Renaissance Theater Company. And we will be coming to you live at the 2-3 Comedy Club, Level 2+2, 2 weeks after we go back to Level 2. We are going to be performing every Friday night at 10 p.m. at the 2-3 Comedy Club. The address, Mandy?
Lingsden North Road, number 234, I think.
234? I knew it said they knew, but I wasn't sure the number. It's
terrible that I know this by heart.
Yeah, we'll be covering social media, blanketing it with stuff, and we're going to be opening with The Scottish Lady by James Lewis Huss, an amazing play with an amazing cast. So thank you, Mandy, for taking the actor's workout.
Thank you.
And you're welcome, and we'll see you all soon.